is that we want it to be a safe event. We want it to be lawful and peaceful demonstrations and protests. We've had a number of those here in Phoenix, and we know how to deal with those. It's just kind of the unknown in this particular case that is most challenging.
I want to follow up with you in a second just about what you've been monitoring. But first, can you tell me anything more? I mean, we just heard from the organizer of the event talking to Anderson last night, but who are these people who are holding this rally, holding this event?
Well, I'm not going to, and not in a position to where I'm going to further them and/or a cause that may be misguided somewhat. But I will tell you that there are different event organizers and different groups have come on. This has become an issue where we have a freedom of the right to bear arms, the freedom of religion, a freedom of speech, and so we have a number of groups that have now taken on different causes for this particular rally, which is part of what has caused it to grow in size or at least in interest. And so, you know, we have ways of monitoring those groups and trying to figure out numbers, but it is a very scattered group of individuals, certainly with different causes, that for the most part are signing on and signing up to come to this tonight.
And as you pointed out, the biggest variable being the unknown. What is challenge number one, Sergeant, when it comes to that?
Well, challenge, you know, it's not dealing with the numbers of people. Police organizations, including Phoenix, across the country deal with protests and demonstrations and a lot of people gathering. It's a case like this one where the challenge becomes trying to anticipate unlawful activity that might occur in conjunction with the event. You don't know what that's going to be. You can follow the social media. You can listen and watch and talk to organizers. Certainly, we'll have eyes and ears on the ground, and we've got cameras that are in place to capture the things that go on, and we'll have some road closures that are in the area to try to manage traffic and those types of things. But you're correct. It's going to, the difficult portion of this is simply trying to anticipate if somebody wants to come in and turn this into an unlawful activity.
Sergeant Crump, thank you so much. We'll be watching. I hope all stays quiet. I hope you don't have too much of a job to do later on. I appreciate you on the phone. Also with me, you know, in Phoenix, people of so many different religions are coming together to fight back against this message of this rally. Want to bring in U.S. Muslim Youth Group leader Harris Zafar, keynote speaker at a religiously inclusive rally planned tomorrow in Phoenix. So, Harris, thank you so much for coming on. And I just have to ask you first, you know, hearing about this event, hearing about this contest, your response.
Well, thank you, Brooke, for having me on. This rally in Phoenix today is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, actually calling people to assemble with armed weapons and to likely shout abuses or shout at people coming in and out of a house of worship while wearing a shirt that says F Islam is beneath the integrity of any civilized person, which is why we believe that the freedom of will, the freedom of speech that has been gifted to us by God, it does come with some requirements to self-restrain that speech and self-restrain that action, to self-govern that. That this freedom of will, this freedom of speech does not give us a license to act stupid. Far from it. It actually implies the requirements that human beings are rational subjects. And for that reason, like you said, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community has been organizing a Stop the Crisis event tomorrow, which actually, the only correction is I'm not the keynote speaker. We have another member of our community who is the keynote speaker. But the whole intention behind that is working with other groups to build understanding. And we don't do this because we think that we're some rational subjects. Under the guidance of the Khalifa of the International Ahmadiyya Muslim Community, this is what we do. He tells us to build bridges. Islam is not beyond contempt or beyond being challenged, but let's do it in a way that we can understand each other, not try to create animosity and hatred for one another.
Understood. Unfortunately, not everyone gets along, and the notion of Islamophobia, this is not news. I guess my question to you being, you know very well, freedom of expression is what folks on the other side would be arguing here. And so how would you request these other folks to be able to express their views, perhaps not in this manner? What would you tell them?
Well, I guess there's two things that come to mind. One is, I think the track record of many Muslim groups, and the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community is just one of them, is that we actually have open forums with somebody. We've had many people ask us very challenging questions, and we welcome that. If anyone has any issues with how they view Islam to be, what's written on the Quran, as the organizer said with Anderson Cooper last night, to come to us and actually hear it from us. Don't hear it from the hate mongers and the evildoers out there that try to create separation. But then secondly, as a society, society, the same way we would push back against homophobic acts or rhetoric, usages of the N-word, all the things that we know as a society are legally protected, but that we just wouldn't accept, that we should be able to push back and say that you are the ones that's causing division and discord, and so let's find a better way to deal with one another. And so for us, it's just dialogue. We're willing to have dialogue even with those that oppose us. Which is why Pamela Geller doesn't want a dialogue. She wants a monologue, and she's the one that's kind of one of the the brains behind this type of movements. We've asked her to have a dialogue with us, an open debate with us, and she hasn't taken us up on the offer. That shows that this is not a sincere effort to understand one another.
She was one of the organizers of the event in Garland, Texas. We all saw what happened there. Just for context for our viewers, Harris Zafar, thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Brooke. Appreciate it.